ladies and gents. Welcome back to Some Good News Barbie edition. I'm Emily Blunt, but you already knew that because I'm so famous and I have a delightful British accent. Today is going to be our best show yet. Not only do we have the world's cutest weather report and an interview with the most incredible family of social media influencers, but this week we also have, drumroll please, a Barbie giveaway! How do you enter? It's easy. 1. Subscribe below if you haven't already. 2. Like this video. 3. Watch this video and comment down below with an answer to this skill testing question. What did Jude and Lucas shout out at the protest? Hint, the answer will appear during our video when this icon appears. 2 winners will be chosen this week and will be shipped a brand new Barbie doll. Don't play with or need a new Barbie yourself? Enter anyway and you can give it away as a gift. Today or never, that's my motto. Before we get to today's news, Leah, how's the weather today?
Sun's up, sunny. Sun's up, sunny. Sun's up, sunny. Sun's up, sunny. No! I'm done.
Alright, thank you Leah. Let's get to today's news. It's that time again folks, Barbie SGN alarm. Our 30-second lightning round good news roundup. Let's get started. First we go to Ottawa, after a simple donation and tweet by hip-hop mega group the Wu-Tang Clan in support of Ottawa Food Bank, a Better Tomorrow campaign was started to sell Wu-Tang themed merchandise. This led to a donation of $100,000 to the local food bank. Next we go across the pond, where 3-year-old Daisy Briggs is overcoming spina bifida and taking miraculous steps to pay it forward. Daisy is taking 2,500 steps to raise money for local hospitals in England. Phew! For today's last story, we have another very special interview. Don't forget, pay special attention during this interview and watch for this icon to get the answer to the skill testing question for your chance to win a new Barbie doll. Let's go to my new SGN Global correspondent Anna for more. Anna, can you hear me?
Oh, yes. Hi, Emily. I can hear you now. Today, the amazing Murray family joins me. Marquis and Thalita are married with 4-year-old twins Jude and Luca. Let's roll the tape. Guys, welcome to Barbie SGN. I'm so excited to have you here, part of the show. So you both are very active on social media, with multiple accounts combining over 29,000 followers on Instagram.
Wow.
Tell us more about the Learner Observer and Unfit Parent accounts. What are they focused on?
So I started the Learner Observer so many years ago that I've lost track, almost 8 years ago now. We really focus a lot on our lifestyle and the DIY projects that we do around the house and every new room that we always seem to be tackling and decorating. And then I talk a little bit about parenting and just regular life stuff on there as well.
Yeah. And I started the Unfit Dad about 4 years ago after having our twin boys. And about 2 years into that, Thalita and I decided to join forces. Really, I needed her expertise in creating the Unfit Parent, where we were more inclusive, talking to parents no matter what they looked like, because we understood that families looked a little bit different. Some people have that, some don't. And so we really wanted to open up our network and just connect with more people and be a resource, as well as kind of show what it's like in our lives, raising our kids in this place, this small beach town, and just sharing in our experiences and crazy things that happen throughout the day.
Awesome. Recently, though, you both took the very brave step of shifting focus on some of your content. Can you tell us more about that and why it was important?
It wasn't an easy thing to do because when you open up so much about your personal life and things that are that important to you and that are that big in your world, you're opening yourself up to people, having negative comments or not agreeing with you and all of that. But ultimately it came down to the fact that it just didn't matter. In this situation, it didn't matter. If someone didn't agree with us that talking about anti-racism and talking about how important it is to educate ourselves in being actively for Black Lives Matter movement and so many other things, then those weren't our people. And to me and to us, the whole point of having social media is not just to post pretty pictures and walk away from it. It's to build a community.
Yeah, and you really feel compelled when you have a platform like that and you have a certain level of influence to take that influence and continue that on, even if it's in different avenues. I mean, what's happening in the world with different race relations is so important, especially right now, because the entire world, for the first time in history, is listening.
Great answer.
Thank you.
Were you afraid that you might offend some of your followers that are just looking for your typical content?
Yeah, I'm not going to say I got a ton of pushback on it. I think there was a lot more support than not. So that was great. But there were definitely a few people who sort of let me know that, the reason that they come to a platform like Instagram or even to my account specifically is for a break from real life. And I guess I just wasn't willing to provide them with that break. Because like we said, this was just too important. It's too big not to talk about.
One of the things me and my family recently learned is that talking about important issues like anti-racism or just posting about it on social media isn't enough. It's important to take real action to fight against issues like racism. Recently, your family took action, a very brave step for all four of you. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, we can. There was the opportunity to connect with a lot of the people from where we live in standing in the gap through a peaceful protest. There was a rally here in town, and we had the opportunity to go and walk alongside a lot of our townspeople and people that we knew, people that we didn't, and just really work together to, amplify the voices of Black people everywhere. And so it was really eye-opening because we didn't really know what to expect. I mean, in our town, it is largely white people that live here. And so when we went to the rally, we had our signs, we had our masks, we had the boys with us, and we had done our best to educate them and inform them on why we were going to do this. But it wasn't until we got there we really realized what was happening. And just to see the show of support from the people that lived here was really incredible to us. We had the chance to walk with the boys, and they were holding their signs, and at times you'd hear them kind of chant, Black Lives Matter or no justice, no peace. And I'm sure they'll remember that for years to come,
Mm-hmm.
but it's up to us as parents, with this being the first opportunity where they really get to experience racism or what it is to be anti-racist and stand with other people.
Yeah, I mean, I had never really gone to any sort of protest or rally or anything like that. But once we heard about this one, I sort of felt like, yeah, we have to go. We have to go as a family, and we have to talk about it with our kids as well. And it was fine. They are 4, so it's hard for them to really, fully grasp what's going on.
Yeah.
So before we got there, obviously we talked to them about it and tried to explain as best as we could what was going to be happening. So once we got there, and I had one of the boys on my shoulders, and Marquis had Jude on his shoulders, I had Luca, and I could hear Luca, chanting, because people would say, no justice, and then he'd respond with no peace, or Black Lives Matter, and everyone's sort of chanting and back and forth. And I could hear his little voice above, my head, sort of chanting those things back. And like, I sobbed because I couldn't believe that was happening. So it was an emotional experience for sure. And I know that they remember that well, because they came home, and for days after, they were still saying the chants, back. And they remembered, and they asked so many questions.
And as parents as well, I mean, the tendency is to like shelter your kids for as long as you can and think they're too young for these things, but they're hearing, right? Mm-hmm. When one of the chants was, say his name, George Floyd. And so like, they're hearing those things, they ask the questions, and we could have shied away from it and tried to protect them. But like I said, there are going to be conversations we'll need to have eventually. And so we didn't shy away from them. We tried our best to use language that they'd understand, but they understand a lot of it already, more than we know that they can, than they do, and more than we know that they can actually comprehend. So it's been very interesting to see where those conversations have brought us so far.
Mm-hmm. That's a very good thing to talk about. So where do you go from here? What's next for the Murrays? Back to normal posts about decor and parenting?
Yeah, definitely not. We will be posting, about the regular stuff. But I can't see this being something that we just go silent about, that's for sure. And, we're trying to take steps at home. I think that what this movement has also done for me as a mom is really kind of like almost throw in my face the fact that I maybe wasn't doing the best job of making sure that my kids' toys and books and the things that they see every day are diverse enough, that they are seeing enough of themselves and of their family members and other people, in those things. So that's been a huge thing. I can't even tell you how many new books we've, purchased in the last 2 weeks. And I think that's true for a lot of families. And it's already, I think, made a big difference. And they definitely notice and, gravitate towards those some of those new books as well. So, as much as I like to share resources with people of where, the new light fixture in my house is from, I'll also be sharing with them the resources of, what we're reading, what we're talking about, what we're watching, and what we're doing.
We can't stop talking about those things, having those conversations. I think in the beginning when the incident, when George Floyd was killed, there was a lot of people that were very vocal, and it was really easy to talk about those things. And, people were posting the black squares, and those things will start to go back to normal. It's important to still connect with people in your network, have conversations, be seeking out knowledge, right? And really stand in the gap, because one thing that, has always been true for me, it's that racism is alive, it's well, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So it's important for us to keep talking about those things as we move towards an anti-racist world.
Thanks again, guys. Back to you, Emily.
Thanks, Anna, and thank you, Marquis and Thalita, for such a special discussion today. You two are doing an amazing job and are such an inspiration to us all. Keep being some good news. Don't forget to enter the contest for your chance to win a free Barbie. 1. Subscribe below if you haven't already. 2. Like this video. And 3. Comment down below with the answer to the skill testing question. What did Jude and Luca shout at the protest? Do all 3 and you will be entered into our draw. And if you are on Instagram, you can follow my creator, the CEO of Adventures with Anna, at AdventuresWithAnna_official. We have another great interview lined up for next week, so make sure you stay tuned. And remember, nothing's gone forever, only out of place. Keep being the good news. See you next time. Bye, everyone.